Be me. 24 years old, working at a mid-sized marketing firm downtown. Nothing special about this place, just your typical corporate hellscape with fluorescent lights and motivational posters nobody reads. Been here for about 6 months, doing graphic design work for clients who think Comic Sans is a legitimate font choice. Coworker sits 3 desks away from me, always wearing business casual, like she's auditioning for The Devil Wears Prada. She's got this whole Ice Queen aesthetic going on with her hair always in a perfect bun and these sharp reading glasses. Never says anything nice to me, ever. Literally her first words to me were, "Your design looks like a toddler discovered Microsoft Paint." Every single day she finds something to criticize about my work. The kerning is off Anon. The color palette is uninspired Anon. Did you even use the golden ratio Anon? I don't even know what half of these things mean, but I nod and pretend to take notes. She's objectively attractive in that scary, competent woman way that makes you feel inadequate about your life choices. Probably a solid 8 out of 10 if she wasn't actively trying to destroy my self-esteem daily. Anyway, this continues for like 3 months straight. Every morning she walks past my desk with her coffee and makes some passive-aggressive comment about my work. "Oh, you're here early, trying to fix yesterday's disaster? Interesting color choice, if you're designing for the colorblind." One day I'm working late on a project because the client wants 17,000 revisions. It's like 9 p.m. and the office is completely empty except for the janitor listening to reggaeton on his headphones. Suddenly she walks past my desk heading toward the exit. She stops, stares at my screen for approximately 45 seconds without saying anything. I'm sweating because I know some brutal criticism is coming. She just says, "It's adequate," and walks away. Wait, what? Did she just give me a compliment? I'm genuinely confused because this might be the nicest thing she's ever said to me. Whatever, I finish up and head home around 10 p.m. I live about 20 minutes away by subway. Nothing fancy, just a 1-bedroom apartment that costs way too much. Get off at my stop and start walking the 3 blocks to my building. It's dark, but the area is relatively safe, mostly just late-night convenience stores and closed laundromats. I hear footsteps behind me, but don't think much of it because this is a city and there are always people around. The footsteps keep matching my pace exactly. Getting slightly paranoid now, so I speed up a bit. The footsteps speed up too. Okay, this is starting to feel like a horror movie scenario. I'm about to turn around and confront whoever's following me when I hear a familiar voice. "You walk too fast, Anon." I spin around, and there she is, my coworker, standing like 5 feet behind me in the dark. She's still in her work clothes, looking completely unbothered by the fact that she just scared me half to death. "What the hell are you doing?" "Walking home, obviously. You live near here?" She doesn't answer, just starts walking beside me like this is completely normal. We walk in silence for like 2 minutes, which feels like an eternity. I get to my apartment building, and she's still walking with me. "Okay, well, this is me, so, good night, I guess." "You live here?" "Yes." "Interesting." She pulls out her phone, types something, and then just walks away without another word. I stand there confused for like 5 minutes trying to process what just happened. Did my Tsundere coworker just follow me home to find out where I live? That's serial killer behavior, but also kind of flattering in a deeply concerning way. Go inside, make some instant ramen, and try to forget this weird interaction. Next morning at work, she acts like nothing happened. Back to her usual routine of insulting my font choices and questioning my understanding of visual hierarchy. Except now, she occasionally glances at me when she thinks I'm not looking. I catch her doing it like 4 times before lunch. One of my actual friends at work, this guy from accounting who exclusively communicates through SpongeBob references, notices. "Dude, why does the Ice Queen keep staring at you?" "No idea, man. She probably thinks I'm incompetent." "Nah, bro. That's not an 'I think you're incompetent' stare. That's an 'I want to wear your skin as a jacket' stare. Thanks for that disturbing image, buddy." Couple days later, I'm leaving work at normal hours this time, around 6 p.m. Get to the subway station, and guess who's standing there, waiting for the same train? She sees me and her eyes widen for just a second before going back to her neutral expression. We both get on the train, and she sits exactly 1 seat away from me. Not directly next to me, but close enough that it's obviously intentional. I'm reading manga on my phone, some isekai trash about a guy who gets reincarnated as a vending machine. She leans over slightly to look at my screen. "You read manga?" First time she's ever asked me a personal question that isn't dripping with sarcasm. Yeah, do you?" "I've read a few." Translation: She definitely has a collection of at least 200 volumes at home. We talk about manga for like 15 minutes, and she's actually being normal. She's even smiling a little bit when I mention this one romance series about a shy girl and her delinquent boyfriend. That one is acceptable. The character development is surprisingly well written. The train reaches my stop and I get up to leave. She gets up too. You're getting off here? Yes. We exit the station together and start walking in the same direction. This is officially weird now because this is the second time this has happened. We get to my apartment building again and I stop. Okay, seriously, do you actually live around here or are you following me? She crosses her arms and looks away, her cheeks slightly pink. I live nearby. How nearby? She points at the building directly across the street from mine. You have got to be kidding me. You live right there? Yes, I moved in 2 weeks ago. And you didn't think to mention this? Why would I? She turns and walks toward her building without saying goodbye. I watch her go inside and disappear into the lobby. My brain is trying to process the probability of this coincidence. Either the universe has a sick sense of humor, or she specifically moved here to be closer to me. Both options are equally disturbing. Next day at work, she's back to being cold and critical. Your alignment is off by 3 pixels Anon. The drop shadow is too aggressive Anon. But now every time we leave work, we end up taking the same train home together. It becomes this weird, unspoken routine where we pretend we're not actively choosing to commute together. We start talking more on these train rides, mostly about anime and video games. Turns out she's a huge Persona 5 fan and has strong opinions about which girl is best. Makoto is objectively the superior romance option. Anyone who chooses otherwise has questionable judgment. I mentioned that I personally prefer Futaba because I relate to the shut-in gamer lifestyle. She looks genuinely offended like I just insulted her entire family lineage. Futaba? She's literally a child Anon. She's the same age as the protagonist. We argue about this for 3 stops, and I'm pretty sure the other passengers think we're insane. One Friday evening, we're doing our usual commute when it starts absolutely pouring rain. Neither of us brought umbrellas because we're both apparently terrible at checking weather forecasts. We're standing under the subway exit awning watching the rain come down. I guess we're stuck here for a while. She checks her phone and frowns. The forecast says this will continue for at least an hour. We stand there in awkward silence for like 5 minutes. Then she suddenly speaks up. My apartment is closer. We could wait there until it stops. Wait, is she inviting me to her apartment? Sure, if that's okay. I wouldn't have offered if it wasn't okay Anon. I'm not an idiot. We make a run for it across the street, both getting completely soaked in the process. Her building is almost identical to mine, same layout and everything. We take the elevator to the 7th floor and she unlocks apartment 7C. I don't know what I expected her apartment to look like, but it definitely wasn't this. The entire place is spotlessly clean and organized like a catalog photo. But one entire wall is just floor-to-ceiling bookshelves packed with manga, light novels, and anime figures. I'm talking hundreds of volumes, every series you can imagine. There's a whole shelf dedicated to shoujo romance manga. Another shelf has nothing but isekai light novels. She has a glass display case with limited edition figures that probably cost more than my rent. You said you'd read a few manga? Her face turns bright red and she looks away. I may have downplayed my interest slightly. This is the most Tsundere thing I've ever witnessed in real life. She disappears into another room and comes back with a towel and some clothes. You can change in the bathroom. Those are my brother's clothes, so they should fit. I change into this oversized hoodie and sweatpants that are surprisingly comfortable. When I come back out, she's changed into casual clothes too. Just a simple t-shirt and shorts. Seeing her without the business casual armor is weird. She looks almost approachable. She makes us tea, and we sit on her couch watching the rain through the window. So how long have you been into anime and manga? Since middle school, my older brother got me into it. We start talking about our favorite series, and she actually gets excited and animated. She's showing me her collection, pulling out volumes, and explaining why certain series are underrated. This girl who spends all day at work being cold and critical is basically a huge nerd. We end up talking for like 3 hours straight about everything from Cowboy Bebop to the latest seasonal anime. The rain eventually stops, but neither of us moves to leave. Around midnight, she suddenly realizes how late it is. You should probably go home. We have work tomorrow. Yeah, you're right. I get up to leave and change back into my damp work clothes in the bathroom. She walks me to the door and we stand there awkwardly. Thanks for letting me wait out the rain here. It wasn't a big deal. I'm about to leave when she suddenly grabs my sleeve. Anon, wait. I turn around and she's looking at the floor, refusing to make eye contact. I don't actually think your designs are that bad. What? At work, when I criticize your work, I'm just trying to help you improve. Her face is completely red now, and she's still not looking at me. I think you're actually quite talented, but you don't push yourself enough. This is the most honest she's ever been with me. So you've been negging me this whole time? I haven't been... That's not... Shut up, Anon! She's so flustered that she can't even form complete sentences. It's actually kind of adorable in a weird way. Well, thanks, I guess, for the aggressive motivation. She finally looks up at me, and there's this moment where we're just staring at each other. Then she quickly pushes me out the door. Good night, Anon. The door slams in my face before I can respond. I walk back to my apartment with a stupid grin on my face. This emotionally constipated woman just basically admitted she's been doing some weird Tsundere routine. Monday at work, she's back to criticizing my designs, but now I know she doesn't actually mean it. The composition is derivative Anon. Thanks, I'll work on that. She looks surprised that I'm not defensive about it. Our evening commutes continue, and we always end up talking about anime or games. She starts recommending series to me, and I do the same. A few weeks later, we're on the train, and she's telling me about this new romance manga she's reading. The main character is so frustrating. She clearly likes him, but refuses to admit it. Sounds familiar. She pauses mid-sentence and glares at me. What is that supposed to mean? Nothing, just that it's a common trope in romance series. She narrows her eyes like she doesn't believe me, but continues her story anyway. One day, I notice she's reading the manga I recommended to her last week. She's on the train fully absorbed in it, occasionally smiling at cute parts. I don't say anything, but it makes me happy that she actually reads my recommendations. A month passes, and we've fallen into this comfortable routine. We're basically friends now, even though she still pretends to be annoyed by me at work. One Friday, she asks if I want to come over to watch the new season of this anime we both follow. It would be more efficient than texting each other reactions separately. Sure, let's go with efficient. Definitely not because she wants to hang out. I bring snacks, and we set up on her couch with the show queued up. The anime is this romantic comedy about a guy and girl who fake date for complicated reasons. During a particularly romantic scene, I notice she's crying, like actual tears running down her face. Are you okay? She quickly wipes her eyes and looks away. I'm fine. There's just something in my eye. Both eyes? Shut up, Anon. She's such a softie under all that cold exterior. We watch 3 more episodes and she falls asleep leaning against my shoulder. I don't want to wake her up, so I just sit there awkwardly for like an hour. Eventually, I carefully move her so she's lying down on the couch and put a blanket over her. I leave a note saying I went home and locked the door behind me. Next morning, I get a text from her at like 8 a.m. You didn't have to tuck me in like a child. You fell asleep. I wasn't going to just leave you sitting up. Thank you. That's the first time she's thanked me without sarcasm. At work on Monday, one of the senior designers announces they're leaving the company. This means their workload gets distributed among the rest of us. I end up getting assigned this huge project with a tight deadline. She volunteers to help me even though it's not her responsibility. You'll mess it up if I don't supervise. We end up working late together several nights that week. She's actually really helpful and stops being critical, instead giving genuinely useful feedback. We order takeout dinner to the office and eat while working. You know, Anon, you've improved a lot since you started here. Coming from her, this is basically a marriage proposal. Thanks, I had a good teacher. She tries to hide her smile, but I see it. We finished the project at like 2 a.m. on Thursday. Both of us are exhausted but satisfied with the work. We should celebrate. It's 2 in the morning, everything is closed. Convenience store run? We walk to the 24-hour convenience store near our apartments. Buy a bunch of random snacks and drinks. Basically every variety of Japanese Kit Kat they have. End up sitting on a bench in the small park between our buildings eating junk food. It's peaceful at this hour, no traffic or people around. Anon, can I ask you something? Sure. She's quiet for a moment, clearly working up the courage to say something. Do you think I'm too harsh at work? Oh, so she's actually been worried about this. Honestly? Yeah, sometimes. But I get that you're trying to help. I don't know how to be encouraging without sounding sarcastic. This is the most vulnerable I've ever seen her. You could try just saying nice things in a normal voice. That's harder than it sounds. We sit there eating Sakura-flavored Kit Kats in comfortable silence. For what it's worth, I like working with you even when you're mean. She bumps her shoulder against mine. I'm not mean, I'm direct. Sure, let's call it that. A few weeks later, the company has this mandatory team building event at a karaoke place. Everyone has to participate because our manager thinks forced fun builds morale. I'm absolutely dreading this because I cannot sing to save my life. She apparently feels the same way, based on the look of horror on her face during the announcement. The night of the event, we're all crammed into this private karaoke room. People are taking turns singing everything from pop songs to anime openings. My friend from accounting does a very enthusiastic rendition of the SpongeBob theme. Eventually, someone suggests we do duets. Before I can object, several coworkers are pushing me and her toward the microphones. You two should sing together. We exchange glances that clearly communicate our mutual desire to be anywhere else. She grabs the controller and selects a song without showing me what it is. The opening notes start and I recognize it immediately. It's the ending theme from Kaguya-sama. Love is War. Of course she would pick a song about two Tsunderes falling in love. We're both terrible singers, but somehow that makes it more fun. Everyone is cheering and laughing, clearly enjoying our suffering. There's this one part where we have to sing really close to each other. We make eye contact and she smiles, like actually genuinely smiles. My heart does this stupid flip thing that I'm going to pretend didn't happen. We finish the song to applause and quickly sit back down. That wasn't as terrible as I expected. Speak for yourself. You were off key the entire time, Anon. And we're back to normal. After the karaoke event, things shift slightly between us. She's still critical at work, but now it comes with small smiles. Our evening hangouts become more frequent, not just watching anime, but also playing games together. She's ridiculously competitive at Mario Kart and refuses to accept defeat. That blue shell was clearly rigged. That's literally the point of blue shells. She throws a pillow at me, and I throw it back. This escalates into a full pillow fight in her living room like we're children. We're both laughing and out of breath when we finally stop. She's lying on the floor staring at the ceiling. This is nice. What is? Having someone to do stupid things with. That's surprisingly sentimental coming from her. Yeah, it is nice. One Saturday she texts me asking if I want to go to this anime convention happening downtown. Normally I'd feel weird going alone, but going with her sounds fun. We meet up at the convention center and it's packed with people in cosplay. She's wearing casual clothes, but I can tell she's excited based on how her eyes light up. We spend hours walking through artist alleys and vendor booths. She keeps finding rare manga volumes and limited edition figures. I buy her this cute keychain of her favorite Persona 5 character. You didn't have to get me anything. I wanted to. She looks at the keychain for a long moment, then attaches it to her bag. I'll treasure it. We attend a panel about the history of shoujo manga, and she's taking notes like it's a college lecture. Afterward, we get food from the convention center food court, which is overpriced, but whatever. Thanks for coming with me today, Anon. Of course, this was fun. Most people think my hobbies are weird. Those people are boring then. She smiles and steals a French fry from my plate. The convention ends around 7 p.m. and we're both exhausted. We take the train home together, both falling asleep and nearly missing our stop. When we get back to our building, she stops before going inside. Anon, I need to tell you something. Here it comes, the confession scene straight out of a romance manga. My heart is racing and I'm trying to play it cool. I really enjoy spending time with you. Okay, that's a good start. You're one of the few people who doesn't judge me for being into this stuff. Of course not. I'm into the same things. She takes a deep breath like she's preparing for battle. I think I have feelings for you. There it is. The Tsundere finally admitted it. Romantic feelings? No, I want to be your accountant. Yes, romantic feelings, you idiot. Even during her confession, she's insulting me. Incredible. I have feelings for you too. Her eyes go wide like she wasn't expecting that response. You do? Yes, I have for a while now. Why didn't you say anything? Because you're terrifying. She punches my arm, but she's smiling. So what now? I guess we're dating? I guess so. We stand there awkwardly because neither of us knows what to do next. Should we kiss or something? If you want to. I lean in and kiss her. It's brief and awkward, but nice. When we pull apart, she's blushing so hard she looks like a tomato. That was adequate. Just adequate? I mean, it was good, shut up. I laugh and kiss her forehead. Good night. Good night, Anon. I watch her go inside her building with this goofy smile on my face. I just started dating the Tsundere coworker who followed me home. What is my life? Monday at work is incredibly awkward because now we're dating, but nobody knows. She's still critical of my work in front of others, but now she texts me apologies afterward. Sorry for saying your design looked like a PowerPoint from 2003. It's okay, it kind of did. We keep our relationship secret at work because office dating is frowned upon. This means we have to act normal during the day and can only be a couple outside of work. It's like we're living in a romantic comedy with unnecessary drama. Our evening dates become a regular thing. Sometimes we watch anime, sometimes we play games, sometimes we just talk. She slowly opens up more about her life and why she acts the way she does. Turns out she was bullied in high school for being nerdy and learned to put up walls. I figured if I was critical of others first, they couldn't hurt me. That's actually really sad and explains a lot. You don't have to do that with me. I know, I'm trying to be better. She squeezes my hand, and we continue watching Your Lie in April. Big mistake because we both end up crying at the ending. I told you this anime was sad. You didn't say it was this sad. We're both emotional wrecks eating ice cream and consoling each other. A few months into dating and things are going really well. She's become more affectionate, though still in her own tsundere way. I made too much dinner, so you might as well come over and help me eat it. Translation. She specifically made enough for 2 people because she wanted to have dinner together. I start keeping spare clothes at her apartment, and she keeps some at mine. We fall into this domestic routine that feels natural. One night we're cuddling on her couch when she says something unexpected. I love you, Anon. This is huge because she never says stuff like this. I love you too. She buries her face in my chest, clearly embarrassed. Don't make a big deal out of it. Too late, I'm making the biggest deal. She groans but doesn't pull away. Work gets weird when our manager announces a restructuring. They're combining teams, which means we'll be working even more closely together. We decide it's time to tell HR about our relationship to avoid any conflicts of interest. The HR lady looks completely unsurprised. We had bets on when you two would finally get together. Wait, what? It was pretty obvious to everyone, except apparently you two. This is embarrassing, but also kind of funny. Now that it's official, we don't have to hide at work anymore. She still criticizes my designs, but now everyone knows it's constructive. My friend from accounting starts calling us the power couple of the design floor. A year into our relationship, and I can't imagine life without her. She's still bossy and critical, but also caring and supportive in her own way. We've watched every anime on both our lists together. Her manga collection has grown because I keep buying her volumes as gifts. One evening we're at my apartment playing video games when she pauses suddenly. Anon, we should move in together. I nearly dropped my controller. Like officially? We basically live together already. We should make it official. She's not wrong. We spend every night at one of our apartments. Okay, let's do it. Her face lights up and she kisses me. We spend the next few weeks apartment hunting. Finding a place that fits both our needs and budget is harder than expected. Eventually, we find this nice 2-bedroom place exactly halfway between our current buildings. The second bedroom becomes our combined office/anime room. Moving in together is chaotic but fun. Combining our manga collections means we need additional bookshelves. We spend an entire weekend building IKEA furniture and almost break up twice over the instructions. The manual clearly says Part A connects to Part B. That's what I'm doing. Then why does it look like that? Eventually we finish and collapse on our new couch exhausted. We survived IKEA. We can survive anything. Don't jinx it, Anon. Living together is an adjustment, but mostly good. We establish rules like taking turns, cooking and cleaning. She's surprisingly domestic when she wants to be. Her cooking is actually really good, way better than my instant ramen diet. We fall into comfortable routines, like watching seasonal anime together every week. Sometimes we have friends over for game nights. My accounting friend and her work friend have started dating too. We were inspired by you two. Apparently we're relationship goals, which is weird to hear. 2 years into living together, and everything is great. We've both gotten promotions at work. Our apartment is filled with nerdy stuff, and I love it. One Saturday morning, I wake up before her, which is rare. She's sleeping peacefully next to me, and I just watch her for a moment. This woman who followed me home and criticized my font choices is now my whole world. I've been thinking about proposing for a while now. I want to do something meaningful, not just a generic restaurant proposal. I spend weeks planning the perfect proposal. Remember that park bench where we ate convenience store snacks after finishing our first big project? That feels like the right place. I arrange everything carefully, even getting her brother's help to distract her. The night of the proposal, I'm incredibly nervous. I suggest we go for a walk after dinner, and she agrees. We end up at that same bench and sit down. This is nostalgic. Yeah, it is. I pull out the ring box and her eyes go wide. Anon, what are you doing? Proposing, obviously. She's already tearing up, and I haven't even said anything yet. You followed me home 2 years ago and completely changed my life. You criticized every design I made, and somehow I fell in love with you. Will you marry me? She's full on crying now, unable to form words. She just nods vigorously and throws her arms around me. I slip the ring on her finger and kiss her. You're such an idiot, Anon. Is that a yes? Obviously it's a yes. We sit there on that bench holding each other while she cries happy tears. Planning the wedding is exactly as chaotic as you'd expect. She has strong opinions about everything from the venue to the flower arrangements. We are not having generic roses and on. That's so uninspired. We end up with this small, intimate wedding with just close friends and family. The theme is subtly anime-inspired without being too obvious. Our cake topper is custom made to look like us in anime style. My friend from accounting is my best man and gives a speech about how he knew we'd end up together. I watched these two idiots dance around their feelings for months. Her brother talks about how happy he is that she found someone who appreciates her hobbies. During our first dance, she whispers in my ear, I'm glad I followed you home that night. Me too. Married life is basically the same as before, but now with legal benefits. She still criticizes my work, but now adds, my husband, before telling me my kerning is off. We adopt a cat who she names after her favorite anime character. The cat is just as Tsundere as she is. Perfect match. 3 years into marriage, and life is good. We're both doing well career-wise. Our apartment is even more filled with nerdy stuff. We've started going to conventions together multiple times a year. One day she comes home with this weird smile on her face. Anon, we need to talk. Those are terrifying words, but she seems happy. I'm pregnant. Wait, what? You're pregnant? She nods and shows me the test results. I'm going to be a dad? I pick her up and spin her around while she protests. Put me down, you idiot. I'm fragile now. You're growing a human. That's the opposite of fragile. Pregnancy is an adventure. Her tsundere tendencies get worse with the hormones. I don't need your help, Anon. I can reach that shelf. She's 5'4" and the shelf is 7 feet high. I help her anyway, and she grumbles, but doesn't resist. We spend months preparing the nursery, painting it, building furniture, reading every parenting book we can find. We're going to mess this up so badly. Probably, but we'll figure it out together. She goes into labor on a Tuesday afternoon while we're watching anime. Her water breaks during a particularly dramatic scene. Anon, I think it's time. We rush to the hospital, and 12 hours later we have a daughter. She's perfect and tiny and already has her mother's attitude based on how loudly she's crying. She has your eyes, and your lung capacity apparently. We name her after a character from our favorite anime. Being parents is exhausting and wonderful. Our daughter grows up surrounded by manga and anime. By age 3, she can identify more anime characters than most adults. Daddy, that's Totoro. She's going to be just as nerdy as us, and I love it. 5 years later, we have a son who is somehow even more energetic. Our apartment is now filled with toys and kids' stuff alongside our collections. We're that weird family that does cosplay together at conventions. My daughter insists on being Sailor Moon for the 3rd year in a row. My wife still works at the same company, now as a senior designer. She mentors new employees and apparently uses the same critical teaching method she used on me. I'm helping them improve. Our kids are used to their mom being tough but loving. Mommy is mean, but she makes the best pancakes. That's accurate, actually. Sometimes I think about that night she followed me home from work. How terrified I was that I had a stalker. How it turned into the best relationship of my life. We're sitting on the couch one evening, Kid's finally asleep after an hour of bedtime negotiations. She's leaning against me reading manga while I play a game on my phone. Anon? Yeah? I'm glad things turned out this way. Me too. She closes her manga and looks up at me. Even though you still can't design to save your life. There it is. She laughs and I kiss her forehead. Our daughter wanders out of her room because of course she does. Mommy, Daddy, I can't sleep. She climbs between us on the couch. We end up watching an episode of her favorite anime together. She falls asleep halfway through, head on my wife's lap. My wife carefully brushes hair from our daughter's face. We made a pretty good human. We made two pretty good humans. Don't get cocky, Anon. I carry our daughter back to her room and tuck her in. When I come back, my wife is setting up another episode of our current series. Ready for the next one? Always. We stay up too late watching anime like we always do. Some things never change. That feeling when your Tsundere coworker followed you home and it led to marriage and kids. That feeling when she still criticizes your work after 10 years, but you know she means it with love. That feeling when you realize that the best things in life come from unexpected encounters. That feeling when you build a whole life with someone who initially seemed like they hated you. That feeling when your kids inherit both your nerdy interests and her competitive attitude. That feeling when you look back and can't imagine how things could have turned out better. My face when I realize I married my stalker and lived happily ever after.
Working at my desk, designing all day. Ice queen coworker 3 seats away. Every single thing I make, she tears apart. Comic Sans comments breaking my heart. 6 months straight of constant criticism. Then she followed me home, what kind of decision? Walking in the dark, I heard her feet, matching every step down my street. Turned around and saw her face, standing in my living space. She followed me home that night. Turns out she lives right across from my side. Now we're watching anime till dawn. This Tsundere girl has got me gone. From office enemies to something more. Never saw this coming, that's for sure. Rain came down, we ran inside. Wall of manga she couldn't hide. Hundreds of volumes stacked up tall. The Ice Queen wasn't cold at all. Late night talks about her favorite shows. That's when everything just flowed. Convenience store at 2 a.m. Sakura Kit Kats once again. Sitting on that park bench there, finally breathing the same air. She followed me home that night. Turns out she lives right across from my side. Now we're watching anime till dawn. This Tsundere girl has got me gone. From office enemies to something more. Never saw this coming, that's for sure. Years went by, we built IKEA shelves, fighting over instructions ourselves. Got married at a small ceremony. Now she roasts my work but calls me honey. Two kids later, nothing's really changed. Still criticizes how my layers arranged. But now we're cosplaying at conventions, living out our nerd dimension. She followed me home back then. Best thing that happened, my friend. From hostile coworker to my wife, she became my entire life. 10 years in, still going strong. That stalker move was never wrong.